This was the wealthiest, most impregnable city on earth, a fortress of absolute power. But in a fraction of a second, an event 1,000 times more powerful than an atomic bomb turned it all into glass. It wasn't magic, it wasn't a myth. It was a cosmic certainty, an airburst that wiped a civilization off the map. And the exact reason why it happened, the sociological conditions that brought this destruction down upon them, are terrifyingly similar to the world we live in today. 4,500 years ago, during the Middle Bronze Age, the city of el-Hammam dominated the southern Jordan Valley. Archaeologists and biblical scholars widely believe this massive urban center was the historical Sodom. They had everything: unbreachable defenses, a booming economy, and an agricultural surplus that made them the envy of the ancient world. Because of their immense wealth, the citizens of Sodom lived in a state of absolute unchecked luxury. But their real sin wasn't just what happened behind closed doors. The true crime of Sodom was far more systemic. The prophet Ezekiel recorded their exact societal failure. She and her daughters had pride, fullness of bread, and abundance of idleness. They gorged themselves on extreme wealth while watching the poor rot right outside their impenetrable gates. Ezekiel noted the final nail in their coffin. Neither did she strengthen the hand of the poor and needy. It was a society defined by extreme class division and radical selfishness. When a society achieves this level of wealth and technological dominance, it inevitably develops a God complex. They believed they were untouchable, invincible to the laws of nature and morality. But the universe has a way of violently correcting extreme arrogance, and their correction was already hurtling toward them, moving at tens of thousands of miles per hour. A cosmic bolide, a massive meteor or comet fragment, plunged into the Earth's atmosphere. Down below, the citizens of Sodom went about their business, trading silver, ignoring the destitute, completely unaware of the physics equation unfolding above them. As the rock plummeted toward the Jordan Valley, it didn't strike the ground to form a crater. The atmospheric pressure became too great. It functioned exactly like the 1908 Tunguska event in Russia, but on a much larger, more devastating scale. A cosmic airburst. Miles above the city, the meteor detonated. A split second before the shockwave hit, the city was bathed in a thermal flash of unimaginable intensity. The countdown hit zero. Temperatures instantly spiked past 2,000 degrees Celsius. Mudbricks and clay pottery melted and vitrified into glass on contact. Clothing, wood, and human bodies simply ceased to exist. They were vaporized in a fraction of a millisecond. Then came the kinetic shockwave. Moving at supersonic speeds, the blast front slammed into el-Hammam. The unbreachable 4-meter-thick walls were sheared completely off their foundations. The multi-story palace was leveled into a flat plain of rubble, the ultimate monument to human pride. A society that believed its wealth made it immortal was reduced to a blackened smear on the desert floor. But the devastation didn't end with the fire. The airburst was so incredibly powerful that it vaporized massive amounts of water from the nearby Dead Sea. This blasted a hypersaline layer of toxic salt across the entire region. The agricultural heartland of the ancient world was poisoned. Archaeological records show that following this event, the region was entirely abandoned for over 600 years. The land was dead, salted by the heavens. Ezekiel's warning wasn't just ancient history. It wasn't just a fable meant to scare children. It was a mirror held up to human nature. Extreme wealth, arrogance, careless ease, a technological God complex, and above all, systemic indifference to the poor and vulnerable rotting outside our gates. The exact conditions that destroyed Sodom 4,500 years ago are exactly the conditions we live in today.